Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this in the world. I hope you guys are doing okay. So yesterday, I know that a lot of you came over to watch the video that I made about one and dones, and admittedly, I was not in the best of moods when I made this video. My shoulder was very banged up. I was very annoyed at a player called Blackheart, and I decided to record maybe when I shouldn't have. I don't think I got as angry as some people thought. I was kind of messing around in it, but just wanted to say quickly before this video starts, thank you so much for all the people that sent me messages about my shoulder. It's doing a lot better. I put some ice on it yesterday. I sat in bed and just sort of nursed it, and I'm feeling a lot better. I don't know what's wrong with it right now. It does feel very tender. I am getting some like weird pains in it, so probably gonna go and see my friend that does like osteotherapy and see if I can have someone look at it. But thank you all so much for asking about my shoulder. For those of you that were asking, I did reply back to you in the comments. You were asking me how much were you benching when this happened. I was benching 100 kg, which is I think 220 pounds, which, you know, is not even the heaviest that I've gone before. It was just really poor form and it just backfired. So I think I came down wrong and my shoulder just clicked. So I'm sitting here, I'm chilling now. I've got me a nice glass of tequila. It's not Terramana, don't worry. I'm not trying to sell you anything like The Rock, but I'm chilling now, so I'm all good. Anyways, guys, I want to jump into this topic about the Tekken rank system. Now, the point system in this game is extremely broken as far as I'm concerned, and I read a lot of the things that you guys were saying, so we're going to go over them today, and I'm going to try and explore why people do one and dones, if there's any validity behind what they're actually saying. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I did actually manage to speak to Blackheart, which was the player that really made me angry yesterday, in his stream chat. So I'll play a bit of that video to you guys and then we'll wrap it up. So in Tekken 8, when you lose, you have more points taken away from you, and this is where the first problem really begins. So when you're playing ranked, you lose, you'll have more points taken than when you win. I think personally you should lose more points if you're a higher rank losing to a lower rank. For example, if you're a Tekken Emperor and you lose to a Tekken Emperor, then you should lose 600 points, right? And if you win, you gain 600 points. However, if you're a Tekken Emperor and let's say that you lose to a Bushin, then you lose like 700 or 750 because they're a lower rank than you, so you should really be able to beat them. I know the issue of Tekken prowess comes into this, and to be honest with you, the Tekken prowess system is a broken mess. It doesn't make any sense. Initially they said that you'll be matched up with people close to your Tekken prowess, which is just a lie. I've been getting matched up with people that have 500,000 Tekken prowess, and whilst that's not a problem for me because I genuinely enjoy fighting stronger opponents, that's always been the joy that I have found in Tekken. I really enjoy fighting opponents where I'm just completely outclassed because I'm like, okay, cool, this level exists, this is the level I can work towards. So them making that change benefited me as a player, but objectively speaking, it just doesn't really work. The prowess system is a broken mess, and I can definitely see why people wouldn't want to play Tekken ranked or want to continue fighting when you have like 100,000 Tekken prowess and you come up across somebody that has like 500,000. It doesn't really make any sense, but for someone like me, I actually enjoy it because it's kind of what I seek on ranked. So you lose more than you gain if you lose to a weaker opponent, and if you lose to somebody of your rank, you lose and gain the same amount. Losing more points when you lose than gaining when you win across the board doesn't really make any sense. The point loss stack and gain also doesn't make any sense. Right now the matchmaking is completely broken. It takes forever to match up with somebody, and when it does link you up with someone, they can be a couple of ranks below you, which is not your fault, and because you've been waiting for so long, it's not like you're going to reject the match. So when this happens, you're looking at gaining around 150 to 300 points maximum, right? It's not a lot of points. I reckon some of you probably think that's time wasted. Now in my opinion, this is fine because they're a lower rank than you and you shouldn't be farming maximum points from these people because they are on their way up and you are near the top. So I think it's only fair you get less points. So let's say you've been fighting these people non-stop because the game keeps sending them to you and you've racked up like 10 straight wins, or 10 sets have been won by you, so you've won about 20 matches. Let's say that's quite a lot of time investment that you've put in there. It's a fair bit of time. Then you go up against a Tekken King or a Tekken Emperor and you lose one game and you suddenly lose 1,500 points, and you're sitting there looking at your screen with a face that looks like a slapped bum, wondering what the hell just happened. I'll tell you what happened. This game remembers if you lost to a rank in your bracket, and no matter how many wins you rack up, it could be 10 wins or 100 wins, it does not care. It does not matter to the system, because if you lose that one match against the character, or the player rather, that is of the same rank to you, you are going to lose triple the amount of points, sometimes slightly more, and this makes zero sense. It's annoying to lose that many points, but it's even more annoying that your time just got wasted, and I think that's the problem that a lot of people have. Imagine a scenario, you've just gone through that, and then you get put into another match of a bunch of Bushin ranks, and it keeps keeps happening over and over again. So again, you're investing a lot of time to get very little back. And then it happens again. I can get why people get annoyed. I honestly think people get more annoyed because their time was wasted. So one way to stop this from happening is just remove the penalty system. It doesn't even make sense because you're already losing a lot of points when you do lose to a player of your rank, but you essentially end up losing almost 3,000 points in 10 minutes. On the flip side, it really doesn't make much sense to give people 1,000, 1,500 for winning 3 games in a row. Just give people what they earned in the fights and keep it moving. Everybody is happy. Now, I've heard a lot of people saying that this is a reason why they do one and dones. They do not want to have their time wasted and risk losing 1,500 to 1,600 points off one loss. I think this is one thing you could do to incentivize people to not leave, because people don't want to deal with the penalty. And I do agree with them, the penalty system is stupid. I kind of get it. If I look outside of my elitist bag, because I admit, I have an elitist view on how rank sets should work, and I sit back and I look at what's going on and I listen to the grievances of the people in my comment sections, even the ones that disagree with me completely, I kind of get it. Who wants their time wasted by a system that is unfairly rewarding and penalizing people? It really becomes a question of, is the player base the core problem or is it Tekken? And I'm kind of leaning towards Tekken. I do still think for the integrity of the fight itself, you should run the set. That's just a personal thing from me, but I also hear where you guys are coming from. I hear your grievances. I'm always of the mentality of run the set, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't hear where you guys were coming from. But in its current form, people want to leave because of this, and then there's players like me who lean towards wanting you to run the set. So what do we do? Where is the middle ground here? Where do we go from here? I've read some comments saying that it's not that deep and just move on, and I hear that. I hear you guys that are saying it's just a game, Mike, just move on, it's not that deep. If I beat you and I won and done you, get over it, go fight somebody else. I hear you. I've also heard some people saying that it gets boring to fight the same person over and over, and I get that as well. So here is my solution to that. Here's my middle ground. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section below. These people that are saying that just want to have some fun, they don't necessarily care about the points that much because they're saying it's not that deep. So rather than rewarding or penalizing someone after each match, the game should be able to work out a maximum amount of points that are rewarded to the winner and a maximum amount of points that can be taken from the loser at the end of the set. The thresholds can obviously change. If you go into the last match and it's 1-1, then obviously the maximum amount of points you're going to get, either of you, is going to be less, and the maximum amount of points that you're going to lose is going to be a little bit less. But the game should be able to work that out. It's 2024. This can't be the most difficult thing for a game to work out. So it would fairly and accurately represent and reflect what is happening in the set. And then at the end of the set, the winner gets their share and the loser loses their share. And because people want the option to leave the set, that's also fine. Maybe locking people in is a little bit too harsh. I personally would like to, but I'd also like to find a middle ground where everyone's happy, because I do want everyone to be happy on Tekken. As much as I rant, deep down, my feeling is even the people that disagree with me, I want them to have a good time on there. So when I was thinking of a middle ground, I thought to myself, maybe what you do instead is that the ones that want to leave and don't care that much, or don't care as much as the people that want to be rewarded for points, or the ones that want to stay, just don't reward them. They don't care. They said it's not that deep. They don't want to fight this character over and over again. It's not a big deal for them, so just don't give them any points. You can't lose the first game and then win the second game and then leave it on 1-1 and take points, in my opinion. The game should require you to finish the set to get those points. You can leave if you want. These people have said they want the option to leave, and so maybe they're right. Maybe they should keep the option to leave. But the win you got is essentially just a win without points because you didn't fulfill the requirements. This way everyone wins, because the people that are saying it's not that deep are right. It's not that deep for them. They don't care that much. They want to move on. And so because it's not that deep, they're not going to care. And the people that do care, like me, the tryhards as some people say, that want our time properly rewarded and to enjoy the full fight, the full set, win the points from the match. You don't even need to give me the points for the match that didn't happen because they left. But they also shouldn't lose points, as in I should not lose points for the game that I lost because the person decided to not finish the set. So we all win. You don't have your time wasted because you don't want to play a toxic player like me. You don't want to fight Feng Wei. You don't want to fight these characters that you don't particularly like. And I don't feel hard done by the point system, and I don't feel hard done by my time being wasted or the idea that I have of what a set should be. So everybody wins. You're not locked in, so you don't have to fight me, which is the main grievance that I've read in the comment section. And I hear you guys. If you don't want to do something, maybe you shouldn't be forced to do it. But I think there's a middle ground. So there's a lot of people that hate fighting certain characters and decide that they don't want to stick around. And maybe, if I'm not being harsh, I somewhat agree with them. I get fighting Elisa over and over again can be annoying. Again, I will stick around for the set. That's just my mentality, but I hear what you guys have to say about that. People play games for different reasons, and not all the reasons are going to align with mine. So maybe they do get to leave on the 1-to-1 so they can think your character's toxic, and so they're happy to be out of the toxic situation So just don't give them the points and only award me the match I won because I was going to honor the set. I see no problem with this. The only pushback I can imagine people giving on this one is that they do want the points, they just don't want to deal with certain playstyles and characters, which is a talking point at that point that I'm not willing to entertain. This is what casual mode is for. Casual mode is for if you just want to have a good time and keep it moving. There's no consequences, there's no reward, just some good ass Tekken. Ranked mode is to climb the ladder, is to test your strength against other strong opponents and overcome hard matchups and tough players so that when you get your hands on the god ranks, it's actually earned and it makes sense. Not to cherry pick points to actually fight your way through the mud. What's the point of having both modes when they're basically the same? It's just one rewards you. As far as I'm concerned, the way ranked is right now, they should just rename it to casual ranked with the way people are treating it and approaching it. So personally, I think that's a healthy middle ground so everyone gets what they want. You're not locked in with my scummy Feng way. I don't have my time wasted / you don't get points that you didn't really earn. Now I did go over to Blackheart's Twitch stream and we'll get into this a little bit now. When I went in there, I did go in there with a hey, you're the guy. It's you. I went in there, I was like, hey, Mr. Blackheart, I heard you're scared. And then he was on his stream calling me names and that. But by the end of the conversation, it was a little bit more cordial and I actually understood what he had to say. So I'm going to play the clip for you guys here.
I'm gonna beat your ass so... I so hope I'll meet you again. I so hope I'll meet you again, don't worry. Don't worry, we'll meet you, I'll meet you again, don't worry. Yeah, sure. Loser, go away, go the fuck away. I only don't rematch 2 ranks lower, so probably you were 2 ranks lower. I never met you, I don't even remember your fucking useless name. It's true, I don't rematch, but only 2 ranks lower. Yeah. You're an amazing, you're an amazing player. You are so good. You are so good. So good. You are so good. Hop kick into Rage Art, you're an amazing player. Unfortunately, I lose against monkeys, unfortunately. What can you do? Unfortunately, against people who can't do shit, I lose. That's the truth about Tekken 8, unfortunately. The less you can play the game, the more I lose. What can you do? Okay, I'm not gonna rematch this idiot. I'm gonna do one if I win, and then I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna rematch idiots anymore. Imagine key charging with Feng, imagine. Imagine key charging with Feng, imagine. You were a Tekken Emperor, that's why I didn't rematch you. You were 2 ranks lower. I always do that, because I'm bored to play 2 ranks lower ranks. Because it's no point. I rematched this Feng randomly, it's not because I wanted to. I was focusing on other stuff. And I lost against this Feng, the first one. So what's your point? I always one and done 2 ranks lower players. I'm not ashamed of saying it. It's not because something personal to you. Even if I win against 2 ranks lower players, I always one and done. Because it's boring. It's no use, you know? There's no point on the table. The match is not fun. Ranked is stressful enough, you know? It's not because of you or because of your character. You can see that on my streams as well. I always one and done 2 ranks lower players. It's not because of you. Yeah, but are you listening to me or not? Or are you gonna be only toxic? I explained you my point. Are you gonna listen to me or are you gonna just say that I'm wrong without any reasoning? Like, I'm open to discussion, of course. You can say that's scummy to not rematch 2 ranks lower, but that's the way it is for me. I just don't rematch 2 ranks lower. Let's discuss at least. If you think that's scummy, okay, but I never rematch 2 ranks lower players. Because you lose more points than you win if you lose. There's no bonus if you win. The points on the table are like 2 points. What's the point? Like, it's no fun, you know? That's the thing. That's my point of view, of course. You can say that's not something to do, okay, but it's the way I do. Ranked is stressful if I don't even get a bonus if I win. That's the point, you know. Especially when you meet these fuckers with Fang at 2 ranks lower. This player is being toxic with no reasoning right now, I don't know why. With Fang, imagine being toxic with Fang. Imagine being toxic with Fang, imagine doing being a scrub with Fang, imagine being an idiot with Fang against Steve, imagine being this idiotic. Good scrub. Suck it. So it's not because I lost against you. I never rematch 2 ranks lower. Even if I win against the 2 ranks lower, I just don't rematch. The good games I do is with same ranks usually. I'm just bored to play against 2 ranks lower players. I hope that's clear. I hope that's more clear now. I hope.
So you guys heard it there. There's obviously more clips of this. I didn't want to play the clips for too long. You can go over to a stream and watch the whole interaction. It didn't go on for too much longer. And like I said, initially when I went on there, I was like, hey, you're that guy. And I started flaming him. And then he was like, shut the fuck up, blah, blah. You know how it is online. Obviously, I wasn't taking offense to it. I was actually laughing on my lunch break. I don't know if he got worked up by it. But by the end of it, it seemed very cordial. I understand his points. I understand where he's coming from. So really, the problem here is the awful system that Namco has implemented into a game that even on its best day can be frustrating. Tekken's already a very difficult game to play. We don't need the rank system making things more difficult for us. I do want to point out though that he said that how can you key charge as a Feng Wei player, and I see people saying this stuff all the time, and let me just quickly address it before we finish up the video. Key charging in the fight, in my opinion, is fine because there's actually a valid tactic behind it. It offers you the ability to get a counter hit on a normal hit, and obviously it makes it so that you can't guard. So if somebody's key charging during the fight, I actually don't mind it because there's a legitimate strategy there. The key charge and disrespect really came from after the match. That's when you know somebody's disrespecting you because it serves no purpose other than to just charge up in front of them to basically show your superiority. Again, for me, that's all part of the fun, it's all part of the banter. I don't really see it as toxic, but I grew up in the Rock / Stone Cold Steve Austin age, so these sort of things don't really bother me very much. But you were key charging against me. You guys can't hide behind your characters forever. You can't say, oh, I'm playing Steve or I'm playing Kuma, so I can do these things, but you're a Feng Wei player, so you're toxic. That's ridiculous. You guys picked your characters for a reason. That reason is probably because you find something about them strong or something that lends to your playstyle. You probably didn't pick Feng Wei because the way he fights is not to your playstyle. You simply don't like the character, but whatever it is, you chose your character because you like them in some way and you think you can win with them. It does not mean that these players can't key charge and you can. That's a stupid mentality. That's a stupid mindset. Never going to entertain that. But just to be clear, I don't actually mind key charging. Even in the match when they're being disrespectful afterwards, quote unquote, I don't mind it too much. It's whatever. You've got players like me that want to finish the set and be rewarded accordingly, and then you have the players like Blackheart, for example, who don't want to finish the set because they don't like the characters, or you have the players who don't care and don't want to fight certain characters, all meshed under one system that makes nobody happy. Now the good thing about the Tekken team is that they actually listen to the feedback that we provide them, because they know that for the next 6 to 7 years this is the game that we're going to be playing. So I think they'll respond in some way. I don't think ranked is going to remain this way until the very end of the game's lifespan. There was massive backlash for the heat system and they listened, and even though heat is still a problematic mechanic, it's certainly much better than what it was before, and to be fair to them, they have continuously refined the heat mechanic since it was announced. You guys remember the 2 token system? Thank God we never got our hands on that, but that would have been funny to see in an unranked situation like an Omega mode. Imagine a 2 token Feng Wei in rage. All you'll hear is TR literally the entire match as your body is literally getting ragdolled from one side of the stage to the other by his shoulder. So clearly they listen to feedback, and that is the purpose of these videos, to really try and get my voice out there. Now I don't know if I'm going to make a change. I don't know. I'd like to think some of my heat videos played into the conversation, but who knows? You can only really try. Now for those of you that take things way too seriously, for me it's not that deep. Most of the time, even with Blackheart, I'm kind of joking around. It's like when you have that inner child inside of you and you let them out sometimes. We all know when we're in public public, right? There's certain things you don't do. Like, I'll give you an example. There was a stupid kid in the store the other day and he was making noise and crying. Now, the inner piece of shit that exists inside me wanted to slap the kid and be like, hey, shut up, and then maybe slap the dad for not making his kid shut up. But obviously, we live in a civilized society. I'm not going to do that, am I? So we keep that petty side of us locked away. Or when you see Stacy at the counter complaining that they didn't get an order properly, oh, I ordered blah 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 and you put cucumbers, shut up, Stacy. Nobody wants to hear it. Sometimes you want to go up behind Stacy and just be like, shut the hell up, and slap the burger out of her hand, but you don't do it because we're in a civilized society and there's a way to behave. When I'm on YouTube, I'm messing around. If I was in a tournament and I met Blackheart, it'd probably turn into a laugh and a joke. I'd probably call him names, he'd probably call me names, but we're grown men. It's all in the fun of the battle. So for those of you that are in the comments that are taking it a bit too seriously, I mean, I don't blame you. You probably don't know me. A lot of you don't know this channel, or like you've come here for the first time, so you don't know how I am, but I'm mostly messing around with these things. Even today when I was sitting on my lunch break and I saw Blackheart streaming, I was like, you know what, let me go into the stream chat and give him some shit. And I gave him some shit, and to be fair to him, he gave it back, but he did actually give a fair explanation. The Tekken rank system here is the problem. We are all just paying for it, and we all have different ideas of how we want the rank system to work, but ultimately none of us are really happy with what's going on right now. And so I think these conversations are important, and I do find them quite fun to have with you guys, even the ones that disagree in the comment section below. Some of your comments went into the reviewed section, which I've approved now, but I gotta say, guys, some of you get way too angry about these things. But anyway, that was for today's video. I again was meant to put out the Wukong video, but I didn't get around to it. And thank you so much for the anime recommendations. They were really, really good, some of the lists that you gave me. So I've jotted down some of the animes that you guys have spoken about. A lot of you recommended Windbreaker. I actually watched Windbreaker already. I'm on episode 9, I believe. It's a fantastic show. If you're not watching Windbreaker and you're into like young gangster slash degenerate or delinquent anime, it's really, really good. Think Tokyo Revengers, but with excellent animation. So I'm still editing the Wukong video. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it out for Saturday and Sunday because I have a lot of work to do. It's summertime now, and summertime's a very busy time for me, but I'm going to try and get the video out. I am going to try and get a live stream going. And Blackheart, if you're watching this video, no hard feelings, dude. You pissed me off in the moment. I did not appreciate you doing that, but hopefully if we run into each other in ranked again and I beat you in the first game and you beat me in the second, you'll stick around for the last game, and obviously vice versa. I was actually enjoying the match against your Steve. Even when you key charged me, I thought it was quite funny, but when you left, I was like, what the hell did this guy just do? But you know what, we've had it out now on your stream. It's all blessed as far as I'm concerned. I think it's always better to try and talk to the individual. I did actually ask Blackheart if he wants to come onto the YouTube channel and talk to me about his experience with Tekken, because apparently this guy has 29 God of Destruction rank characters, so that's impressive on its own. That must be very stressful and a lot of work and time. I certainly don't have the skill or the time to be doing something like that. If he has done 29 God of